5, 4, 3, 2.
Thank you, Emeka. Welcome to Resurrection Sunday, yes? My sweetheart loves it when I speak with this loud voice. She can't get enough of it, yes? She's being nice, we're on television. Thank you for contributing to this niceness.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say, without making you feel self-conscious, how beautiful you look on television?
Sure.
Oh, okay, you look very beautiful on television.
Thank you.
I'm touched.
Very good.
Very good. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And now to switch from that.
Okay.
Now, you might not think this is a serious show, but we're going to be discussing what resurrection means to us and what it can do for you. Yes? Yes, isn't that a good thing?
Yeah.
I need to be resurrected daily. So I'm an
Yeah.
expert.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, great. Well, we were just discussing what the holiday Easter might mean. And some thoughts were, in my family, we decorated Easter eggs, even as adults, which was a lot of fun. And I discovered at one point the Ukrainian Easter egg, which I happen to love the artwork of the Ukrainian Easter egg. So I spent some time trying to look into that, but here we'll have a picture here of the Ukrainian Easter eggs.
It's very
which
beautiful
are-
on television too. Maybe we don't need us anymore for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at they really have the art.
What is that white thing?
Art down.
Oh yes.
And what's
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's interesting too about them is that they do have religious meanings. So I can point that out here. Christian meanings. So as you can see, the rows are 8-pointed stars, a symbol of Christ, or represent flowers. So we have some pagan and some Christian.
Oh,
in here.
balance.
Yes.
Yes.
Fish, again, we have the pagan fish,
Yeah.
or the earth element of fish,
And I think that
and it
fish.
symbolizing Christ.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, fish in Greek is spelled Alpha and Omega. That's what the word for fish is.
Hmm.
And so and
Hmm.
Joshua, I like to call him this, is the beginning and the end. The beginning
Okay,
of the
wait.
cosmos.
We'll come back to us. So
Come.
say that again. That the
Fish was the alpha. The word for fish is alpha, 2 letters, and omega, which is like A and Z. So a fish in English would be called Oz. Pass the Oz, please. Or pass the alpha and omega. And Joshua was considered the alpha, the beginning of things, and the end of things.
So in what way was he the end of things?
Well, we eventually, when there's love, see if I can say this in a way. Well, eventually we will all be part of the body of love. We will love each other and love our friends, and that'll all be like a great party or feast, like we were at last night.
After we die?
Or we can even get hints of it if we have a good meal. Just feel that we're blending together, yet maintaining our individuality, and so that's the end of which humanity was created for. In the very beginning, that was, which is in some ways, that was the seed. Like a rose has all these petals working beautifully together. So the seed of humanity, very, very beginning, if you wanted to be, you could say Adam and Eve, whoever they were, they've discovered that there was a woman in Africa, I think her name was Lucy, who her genes are in all people. So she was considered, at least when they discovered her, the Eve of humanity, the mother of us all.
Oh.
So from that seed, that beginning, and you can feel it being a human being, right? There's some part of us that wants to love everybody, and another part that wants to get the best we can for supper. It's a huge struggle in humanity, but the aim is eventually to get them all working together and have one, it's called a Eucharistic meal or a love meal, where we really are all part of one loving body. Your shoulder, my hand, and we're all just like our bodies, like all these things working so well together. Right? When they work well together, toes and lungs and eyes. So that's the promise, if we have faith, that we will all be one free, loving, free body.
So how was it the end of?
That's the end. That's the like there's an end of the race. That's the end goal of being human. Once we get there, then we can start again. But that's not an easy. Not all of us can be loving all the time and feeling that we're connected to everybody the way you are.
That's right.
Yes. See, get new answers now. It's a that we should just celebrate that answer. No false humility. This is Cambridge. We are not into false humility. Yes.
Okay. It's interesting because I'm curious about the role of creativity and when there is conflict and what can be produced out of conflict and what's grown out of conflict.
Yeah. So would you have an example of conflict that springs to mind?
An example of conflict that springs to mind.
Yes, this is spring. Yes.
Yes. Well, are you ready for a large one?
Yes. This is we can handle it.
Oh.
This is a large example of conflict that's springing to mind. Yes.
Oh.
Everybody, be ready.
All right. So in Libya.
Wow. Yes, go for it.
Okay. So the conflict of the ruler Gaddafi.
Yes.
And the people wanting safety and respect and freedom of speech, freedom to go on the internet, freedom to blog without being killed.
Freedom to vote.
Freedom to vote.
Work.
So right now there's a conflict happening. The Gaddafi basically wants to be in charge.
Yes. Aha.
Do what he wants.
Yes.
Which we also know there's something beautiful about being able to do what you want.
Yes. Torturing people,
but something like
putting them
that
in prison,
is not exactly
and impoverishing
right.
them is a small price to pay
Right.
for a man's freedom.
Well, right, and there's some, So I don't know if that's...
It's a great example.
Okay.
It's a great example,
Okay.
and the end, the omega of Christianity, whether in this lifetime or more. I mean, for me, Joshua said, I'm going to bring the kingdom of heaven to earth. Heaven is here, right? We really are part of the heavens. It's the blue dot that's part of the heavens if you look at the earth from afar. So if the kingdom of heaven is here, eventually all these conflicts will be resolved. We believe that, which is in some ways happening all through the Arab world. People are risking their lives and dying in order to create this new, freer world. This, they might not use the word loving, but this freer, in some ways it's loving, a community that works together, that is still free. And the belief is, which is spreading. When we started the American Revolution just over 240 years ago, a very brief amount of time when you were young, Ralph Waldo Emerson, writing about it about, I think, 50 years later, said it was the shot heard round the world. And we, standing up for democracy, all of a sudden spread to France, to Europe, and now to the Arab world. They want democracy and freedom the way we have it. So in the long run, this was happening all over South America. Now Brazil has a woman president. So it's happening. And so we and faith would be believing it can keep happening. That eventually this promise of loving freedom will spread, and the kingdom of heaven will reign on earth as in the same harmony that is in the heavens, between the sun and the earth and the stars and so on.
So in what role does faith play in this, do you think?
Faith would mean, a wise faith would be, Joshua was his real name was Joshua, because he was a fighter, like Joshua fought the battle. Joshua, who's often called Jesus, although he's never called Jesus in his life, he's said to be innocent as a dove, and wary as a serpent. Now you have to be careful when you negotiate with Gaddafi and others. But the faith is, if we are wary as a serpent and innocent as a dove, eventually love will, as it's happened in many people's lives, yes? They will find love that frees them, because love is very freeing. When there's love around, you can really more be yourself, yes?
Right.
Way more be, yes? Get away with all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes!
No, that's true. Establishing good relations with people.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the faith is, once if we can make that loving connection with that divine spark in us, between us, and get it to warm us, that can keep spreading till eventually the whole world is part of that.
Yeah, gosh. In talking with my dad today, and he was talking about how in Mexico they celebrate the holiday by carrying a cross through the streets. And then at work, I work with people from Haiti and Nigeria and Jamaica, and everyone was wishing everyone a happy Easter. It wasn't even I work with people from all over, really, literally, and it seemed that saying Happy Easter wasn't something to be cautious about. Do you celebrate that holiday? That wasn't really said. It's interesting, the spark that Jesus actually that has spread.
Yes.
What comes to mind is that heart image of the light torch. Is it a torch?
I think it might be, yes.
Yeah. So as I talk to you right now, what comes to mind for what Jesus, how he affects your life?